Hey everybody, it is Tash B, business coach here, and I am coming to you live from almost beautiful, sunny, amazing Townsville, which 320 days of sunshine, and it's a bit overcast here today. Anyway, that is all right. The life holiday does go on. Today's topic of conversation that I wanted to share with you was around the customer experience when you are selling to customers, and why that is so important, because people don't just buy products. Hey Monica, people don't just buy products, they buy experiences. They want to connect, and recognizing that it's not just a product that you are selling, it is an experience, can really change the game on what it is, on getting sales, basically. So it's just been a bit of conversation around that, particularly in our house recently. So, I think actually I digress slightly, but one of the biggest jokes that that people who work in sales quite often have is, I would get so much more done if it wasn't for customers. And it's true, we all would get so much more done, but if we don't have customers, we actually don't have a business. And it's kind of counterproductive, really, isn't it? Yeah, we would get so much done in our business if those pesky customers didn't come around, but we need them. They're so important. And for us to get sales, it's not just the product that is being sold, it is that whole experience that goes with that. And there's some really small things that you can do that can help provide an amazing customer experience, which can also lead to not doing those couple of small things. It can lead to a really pretty ordinary and pretty average customer experience, which can mean then, if customers don't have a great experience, then decreases the chance of them repurchasing. Worst of all is that if they have an even more poor customer experience, they're going to tell people about it, and that then really, really impacts your sales. So, talking about that, it's not just things that people buy, it's not just the products, it's the experience. So what are just those little things that you can do in your business to provide an amazing experience for your customers? Now, number one is, and I feel like I say these things and it's kind of really obvious, but I cannot tell you how many times I've experienced it, and how many times I've seen it by salespeople that just don't follow these really, really simple, simple tips, basically. The first one is, keep your promises. If you tell a customer that you are going to do something, do it. Don't tell them you're going to do something and not do it. I know that sounds pretty bloody obvious, doesn't it? But perfect example here is that I've got two examples that have happened just recently, or experiences that we've had. We're currently going through the process here in our place where we've taken down a couple of trees because we're getting ready to put a swimming pool in. We live in Townsville, we're in the tropics. We need a swimming pool at our place. So, dealing with people in regards to getting the quotes that we need to do that. And just a beautiful experience with the guy that came down to remove the trees. The first experience was that we contacted him, and he made the appointment to come by, and I said, hey, I'll be around at your place at I think it was 12:30, or we'll say 12:30 in the afternoon to give you a quote. He was running late, and he actually phoned us to say, hey guys, do you know what, I'm really sorry, I'm running late, I'll be there in half an hour. He showed up on the nose half an hour later. Hey, couldn't keep his promise, but he informed us, he let us know what was going on, so because otherwise we're just hanging around the house. And how many people have been in that position? I think probably the worst example is getting courier deliveries or other sort of services where they go, oh yeah, we'll be at your house sometime between 9 and 12. Can you help me out here? Because I'm just sitting around my house just twiddling my thumbs. So letting customers know, hey, look, do you know what? I'm really sorry, I'm not going to be there at that time, but I'll be there at that time, and then keeping your promise. He then showed up on the nose of exactly 8:30 yesterday morning to get the trees removed and to do his work. He was fast, he was quick, and kept his promises. Conversely, with catching up with one of Glenn's friends over the weekend who's just bought a boat, and his experience was the complete opposite of that, where he had been spending a little bit of time looking around at the purchase that he was going to make, a boat, and he had between $30,000 to $40,000 to spend, which is a reasonable amount of coin that you're going to put down on a particular product. So he had gone into the store, he'd looked over, he'd picked out the product, basically what it was that he wanted to buy, and after doing his shopping and everything else, and said to the guys, yep, that's the boat I want. It was in stock. Yeah, no worries. And 3 or 4 days later, he was telling us that then he had to phone up, no, sorry, look, we don't have a motor in stock. We need to order a motor. And this whole process that went from, your boat will be ready in 3 days, ended up actually taking over 3 weeks. And Glenn's friend just constantly chasing up. And it's like, that's a $30,000 or $35,000 purchase. And yet, what sort of service are you providing to the customer? And honestly, in the end, it wasn't not just the not keeping promises and not being able to follow up, but that's just the start of it. So tip number 1, keep your promises, particularly around time, is a way that you overservice your customers and it makes a massive difference. Tip number 2, where we're talking about the experience customers get from purchasing your product. For me, and this goes right back to my core days of when I was a checkout chick, basically, is just what I refer to as common courtesy of please and thank you. How many, and yourselves, when you go out and you go shopping now, or the next time you go into stores or deal with businesses, how often are you actually thanked for your patronage? How many times are you thanked for your order? Let's think about that for a second. That's a really small thing, isn't it? But hey, you go back and you say to somebody, hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate doing business with you. That makes a big difference. You feel really valued. As a customer, you feel valued. And you will go back and you will work with that business more because you feel valued. So that's tip number 2. Remember to thank your customers for their service just by saying thank you. You can then go the next step too, which for me, working in sales is then comes down to servicing customers and or just giving them Christmas gifts or thank you gifts, or taking them out to dinner to show the appreciation as well. This is also another really great tip as well. But so tip number 2, remember to thank your customers. So important. My next learning, I guess we'd call it, in sales and looking at that customer journey and the customer experience is looking at the touch points that we have with customers. So this is something too, again, that I find quite amusing, is social media now is like the number one most common and easiest platform for us to deal face-to-face, or not so much face-to-face, but one-on-one and direct with customers. It's a social platform, but yet for businesses to be able to interact with customers on this platform, it's awesome, it's amazing. And so this comes down to tip number 3, is that on social media, you should be treating your customers exactly the same as if they are browsing in your store. So if you've got a bricks and mortar store and you've got people, you've put Facebook ads out there or social media ads, and people are engaging in conversation, why are you just letting it go? I find it quite interesting where, you see people that have invested money in Facebook ads, and yet you scroll up and you read all the comments, and oh wow, this looks really interesting. Yeah, I'd love to know more, and just through to the keeper. Really, it's why are you not talking to customers? If you walked into a shop, into a bricks and mortar store, and you stood in the shop and said, "Hi, I'd like to know more." And the sales assistant turned their back on you and walked off. It is exactly the same thing. So don't leave people standing. Don't leave them waiting. They've commented on your post. Talk to them. Don't ignore them. It is exactly the same as if you were face to face. So important. So that's tip number 3. I'm going to have to remember all my tips here now because I probably should have written them down so that I can summarize it all. But we've gone through. Tip number 1 is keeping promises. Tip number 2 was saying thank you. Just remembering the gratitude. Tip number 3 is the just remembering to have a conversation with customers. Okay, so tip number 4, the next bit is I guess it's the artistry, it's the ceremony, it's just the little bit more. It's this little bit more part now that comes with the purchase. And this is the bit where you take it, where you can just really subtly take it to the next level. So this is where you might walk into a store and you've purchased a nice garment, and then when you get to the counter, they'll wrap it for you in the nice tissue paper and they present it to you in a beautiful bag. You know, it's that ceremony. I remember actually, being in Vegas, which, it's the city of showmanship, of course, but we'd ordered a bottle of red wine at dinner, and I've never seen this anywhere else, so it was just purely all for show, but it's just, again, that whole ceremony around it. And what they did was I've got to remember exactly how it went, but they did something. They took the bottle of wine and put it in the decanter, but they kind of did it over a candle, and then they took the wine and they rimmed it around each glass and poured it through each glass, and it was just this great big whole ceremony around getting a bottle of wine. But it's stuff like that that sticks in your mind that you go, wow, that was really interesting. I'm going to go back there. It's also just the little things too. I know recently when I bought my car, I went into the sales showroom, and I walked in and they had it covered up as a big present, and they had a sign up, "Hey, Tash B, you're coming in to pick up your car today. Congratulations on making this purchase," because it's a big purchase. And I felt so special. I felt so excited to walk out of the showroom with my car because I'd been made to feel really special. Which then on the flip side, goes back to what we were talking about Glenn's friend who just bought his boat, similar sort of money, and he's walked out of there going, yeah, there was no love, there was no care, really couldn't give a stuff that I've just spent, these $35,000. There was no showmanship there. There was just lack of care. There was just little things that weren't finished off, and it's just that whole showmanship and being made to feel special that you've invested in this business, and because I've invested in this business, I've made a purchase in this business, so how am I being made to feel special? It goes back to, I did just little things where, hey, thanks, you've ordered something, and it comes through. I know the place where I buy my books from, my online bookstore, that the books come through. I always get a bookmark with it. It's just a little thing. I mean, because I need a bookmark when I read. So just think about when somebody opens it up, and that's it too, particularly if you're selling products online and you're shipping out. How do people feel when they receive it? What does it look like when they receive the present, or not the present, sorry, the product that they've just purchased? So it's not, people don't just buy a product. They buy an experience. They buy a feeling. They buy just the artistry, the connection, because I can buy a product. I can buy pretty much the same product anywhere. There is, we live in a place where we are very, very spoiled for choice. So why am I going to buy that product from you? Now think about this too, because we're also consumers as well as sellers. So how do we feel? How do we like to be treated? What's those kind of special things or when we walk out of a sales transaction, how we feel. What is it that sort of works for us? Hi, Mary. Thank you so much for being here. So what are those things? So then flip that back around and go, right, well, am I doing that in my business? Am I making my clients feel or my customers feel really, really special by the way that we are interacting and engaging? So there's my little tips for you about, that it's not just purchasing a product, it's an experience and how you can use that in your business. So we spoke about keeping promises, and that one is so important, keeping promises. Again, I go back to, I'm transgressing just a little bit, but going back to that one, I remember taking over it is, isn't it? It is. I remember taking over from in a sales management role from somebody else, and I went out to a trade show, and I had a customer come up and see me and say, "Oh yeah, you guys again?" And I'm like, "Yep, can I help you?" "Well, yeah, the last guy, he promised he was going to come up and see me, and he was going to do this for me, and he was going to do that for me." And I'm like, "Right, okay, not him, I'm me. So can you tell me where your store's located?" "Right, okay, so you're regional Northern Territory. I am going to absolutely promise and assure you I am not going to come and visit your store. And it's not that I don't want to, I need to be realistic, I don't have time. But here's what I can do for you." So it's not so much just, right, don't make promises that you can't keep, because I hate people making promises to me that they don't keep and that they don't follow through on. But turn around and say, "Do you know what? That's not realistic, but here's what I can do for you instead." So keep your promises. Remember to say thank you to your customers and to, genuinely be grateful the fact that they have made a purchase with you. I've forgotten tip number 3. Oops. But then just the finishing off of the experience, how to make people feel special, just going that little bit of an extra mile. Again, look, I know too, where I used to buy my stationery, they used to throw a handful of lollies in there. I tell you what, everybody used to go running to the boxes with the stationery. But yes, like I said, it's not just what people buy, it's how you make them feel. That's right, Mary, don't BS them. Don't BS them, because I don't like that, and I know that other people don't like that. So keep your word. All right, anyway, that is it from me. No, that's not it from me, because I need to do the plug, because I'm launching my program, which I'm so very, very excited about. And so this is all the stuff that we work through. So for me specifically, I am really keen and really focused. I believe that there is no reason why any business should not succeed. Absolutely not, because you can achieve anything that you want to achieve. All you need to do is believe in it, and you're only limited by your imagination. So there is no reason why any business should not succeed. So it's about putting the right structures in place, it's about having the right systems in place, and it's also about having the right mindset and the belief that you can do it. And that is all the stuff that I work on with my clients. So I take the 15 plus years experience that I have had in corporate marketing and sales, and take that in, help use those processes and systems for you in your business. And then I also use my key learnings that I had from basically when I hit rock bottom and was a bit of a driveling mess, and didn't have any self-belief and didn't think that I could do anything. So I take my experiences from that to help you build your mindset and get a winning mindset, basically, for you to believe that you can have this amazingly successful business. And then in addition to that too, I use the amazing coaching skills that I have been working on and basically working on, doing courses on, and to help you develop, help you sort of work through what's going on for you and what we can do to help you grow your business. So that is all the stuff that happens when you work with me. It's an amazing 4-month program, which I am so excited about, because I love working with businesses and helping them identify growth opportunities, and then to help build the strategies around them to get you to grow, because there is no reason why that can't happen. Anyway, I'm going to pop the link in somewhere in here. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks, bye. Thanks, Mary, bye.